Are kit cars really that bad? Well, if it's any of these, the answer is a resounding no. We're going over a handful of bitchin' kit cars today that can outpace and outhandle most supercars you'd encounter on the open road, and they cost about 1/10 of the price. So, like, subscribe, and first up, you love Miatas. I mean, who doesn't? It's always the answer, but you wish they were, faster. Meet the MEV Exocet, a car that takes Mazda's beloved Roadster and shreds over 1,000 pounds of weight, leaving you with a skeletal, track-ready car. This thing weighs in at just 1,500 pounds, meaning even a stock Miata engine makes it feel seriously quick. But if you slap on a turbo or swap in an LSV8, the Exocet becomes dangerous in the best way possible. Smiles per mile? Unreal. Some builds pushing over 400 horses, and with this featherweight chassis, the acceleration is just stupid fast. And guess what? Building one costs around $9,000, which is cheaper than a lot of used Miatas. It also keeps the Miata's legendary handling, so it corners like a Porsche Cayman GTS but costs a fraction of the price. Plus, with over 1,000 sold worldwide, the Exocet has a massive community of builders sharing knowledge, meaning that you'll never be alone on your build. No hardcore machining, no specialized tools, just bolt stuff together and go. This sounds like my kind of build. If you want an aerial atom experience without selling your kidneys, your lungs, your toes, the Exocet, that's your answer. And if you want to find a Miata to get started on this build for cheap, well, check out the link in the first pinned comment to Auto Tempest. Now, what if you could take a Chevy Cobalt and completely strip it down until it's basically a formula car for the streets? Well, that's what the DF Goblin is, a lightweight open wheel monster that can go 0 to 60 in under 3 if you use the Cobalt SS turbo engine. This thing weighs in, again, at around 1,500 pounds, which is about half of what a Corvette weighs. So even with a stock 260 horsepower Ecotec engine, the Goblin absolutely flies. But here is where it gets dumb. With basic bolt-ons and tuning, you can push this thing to over 400 horses, which is McLaren P1 acceleration on a budget. And the best part, you can build one for around 12,000 bucks. That's cheaper than some supercar wheels alone. God, I think the wheels on my R8 were around that. And, of course, the Goblin is not just about straight line speed. Oh no, this exoskeleton chassis and low center of gravity give it a go-kart-like handling, making it a track day weapon. And just like the Exocet, there's a massive online community. So if you get stuck on the build, there are plenty of people to help out. Though, I gotta say, if you find a clean Cobalt SS, it would kind of make me sad to just chop it up. So maybe get a rebuilt Title one or whatever and just do whatever you want with it. All right, I saw this one at SEMA a couple years ago and I was absolutely blown away. It's the Factory 5818, and if you are a Subaru fan, this one is for you. I mean, just imagine taking a WRX, World Rally Experimental, stripping away all the weight and moving the engine to the middle. Yes, we are not imagining this anymore. Say hello to your little friend, the Factory 5818. It takes the turbocharged Boxer engine from a Subaru WRX and shoves it into an 1,800 horsepower chassis. That's nearly half a ton lighter than a stock WRX, which means this thing will go 0 to 60 in about 4 seconds in stock form. But come on. If you own a WRX, let's be real. Modding your car goes with having dessert after dinner. WRX owners love modding, and with a few upgrades, the 818 can easily push over 500 horses, turning it essentially into a steering wheel guided missile with a nut behind the wheel. And when it comes to cost, well, you can build one from the ground up for 15,000 bucks, which is cheaper than some low-mile WRXs and definitely cheaper than going to your doctor and getting an STI, or is that opposite of what you do? Anyway, the 818's low center of gravity and rear-wheel drive layout mean it will actually fix the biggest problem WRXs have, understeer. Instead of plowing through corners, this thing just grips with a dab of oversteer. Plus, it already has been used in multiple racing events, so don't worry, its ability has been proven many, many times. I mean, when you're talking about a budget Lotus S7 and you call it a low cost, come on, guys. I mean, if you love pure raw driving, then the Locost 7 is for you. It literally is just a DIY Lotus 7, which also happens to be one of the most famous lightweight sports cars ever made. This thing weighs in at 1,300 pounds, which is absolutely nothing. Even with just 150 horses, it feels like a rocket. And if you want to throw in a motorcycle engine, have at it. A Hayabusa, it's becoming next level insane in the RPM department. The handling, just ridiculous. It corners like it is on rails. And since it's so lightweight, you don't need crazy horsepower to have an absolute blast. And as with basically all the cars on this list, you probably won't need power steering either. Anyways, what makes the Locost 7 special is its DIY appeal. You can build one with parts from a Miata, a Ford, or even a junkyard car. Some builders fabricate their own frames, making it one of the cheapest kit cars ever. If you know how to weld or you have a friend that does. You can buy used pre-built ones for around 20 grand these days, but if you have the means to fabricate one on your own, you can probably get it done for way less than that. These are probably the most raced kit car of all time if I had to guess, and if you can make yours street legal, you have a racer for the street, my friend. Okay, I did a few videos on this a few years ago and they absolutely blew up, and I think I know why, because I mean, it's essentially a Lamborghini and Nissan thingy, and it is kind of nuts, but it is one of the coolest modern kit cars out there. Even Shaq owned one, and it's called the Vaydor G35. Now, the Vaydor is a wild wide-body kit that transforms an Infiniti G35 coupe into something that looks straight out of a sci-fi movie. The kit itself is anywhere from 15 to 20 grand, and if you want it to be faster and ditch the old VQ engine, pop in an LS V8 for around 5K more. I mean, while you're at it, why not? And for around 20 to 25 grand, you've got a car that almost no one else owns in the world. Most people have never seen one in real life either. I mean, it kind of looks like a Lambo, it kind of looks like a Corvette, but yeah, it was actually featured in Suicide Squad back about 10 years ago. And yeah, I agree with you. Even though the movie was complete trash, the car looked sick as hell. Now, if you've ever had a dream to own a Le Mans style hypercar, but your bank account didn't have enough zeros in it, well then you can look like a billionaire on a dollar menu with the RCR Superlite SLC. Yeah, that's your answer. This is not just a kit car, ladies and gents. It's a full-blown race-ready supercar that you can build at home. The SLC features a fully aluminum monocoque chassis, just like the McLaren P1 and Ferrari LaFerrari. You know, a Ferrari with two first names, making it ridiculously strong and lightweight. Combine that with a composite race-inspired body, and you've got a car that looks like it belongs at an endurance championship. But let's talk about the real insanity: performance. With a 650 plus horsepower LS V8, this thing rockets to 60 in around 3 seconds and tops out at a speed of 222 miles per. That's faster. Yes, faster than a Lamborghini Aventador SVJ. Now, it's not cheap. A full build costs you around 65 grand, but when you consider that a Ferrari with similar performance is pushing $500,000, you can even find one for that, the SLC starts looking like an absolute steal. Plus, it's fully customizable. Some owners have even gone the twin turbo or electric powertrain route. If you did that to a new Ferrari, well, you might get sued, so this is probably the better alternative. The factory Five GTM is what happens when you take the best parts of a Corvette, strip away 600 pounds, and give it the most aggressive styling of any McLaren ever, mixed in with a Ferrari Enzo. This isn't just another kit car. This is a true mid-engine supercar that you can build for around 40,000 bucks, which is less than a new Toyota Supra. Now, what makes the GTM special is that it uses a C5 or a C6 Corvette as a donor, meaning you're getting at least 400 plus horsepower out of an LS V8, a 6-speed tranny, and a sweet suspension, all from the base car. But because the GTM is so much lighter, its 0 to 60 time drops to around 3 seconds, meaning it's faster than a Ferrari 488 GTB. And thanks to its mid-engine layout and super low center of gravity, it outhandles most other sports cars that cost a whole lot more. One of the best things about the GTM is its massive customization potential. Builders have tuned these things past 600 horsepower, adding turbo setups and even gone full race spec. Factory 5 has already proven that this car is track capable, and with an active community of builders, there's plenty of support to help you complete the build if you ever feel frustrated, down on your luck. Bottom line, the factory 5 GTM is one of the cheapest ways to get a mid-engine supercar, period. If you want Ferrari killing speed without the Ferrari price tag, this is going to be your best bet. So what do you think? Are kit cars still too tacky for you, or would any of these badass examples change your mind? Let us know in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more ideal vids like this. Oh, like these two. Go check them out. I'm Brad. This is Ideal. See you next week, and promise me one thing. Keep living the ideal lifestyle.